Hi, everybody. Sunsfan here with Cinderin.
Hello.
We have Quincy crew versus the LGD PSG variety. That is. So pretty hype matchup. Draft has already started, so let's mosey our way onto the battlefield. That is Defense of the Ancients. Do.
Yes.
So to my knowledge, based on Wikipedia, because obviously we're casting and we can't check everything, these two teams have not played yet.
Yep.
So both 0 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
And we already have 4 heroes picked, Cinderin. Talk to me.
Yeah. First of all, before we do that, should mention PSG.LGD by the majority of people considered, or by most people consider these the favorites to win the whole tournament. They have the most votes by fans, and I think among talent as well, we consider them the favorites from what I gathered. Have been looking incredible all year, especially in, it just seems like the sky's the limit for these guys. So we'll see if they can do it at TI this year finally. For China, the last Aegis was in 2016, which was Wings.
Yep.
Since then, it has been 3 European wins back to back.
To back.
To back, yes. So LGD, really trying to get the Aegis back home to China.
All
here,
the hopes of China are on their shoulders, and the
Not
other
true.
4 Chinese teams.
Yeah, right. But yeah, LGD by just absolute juggernauts this year. Against them, Quincy crew, top scorer in the NADPC. They went 7 and 0, I believe. In their last round of the DPC there. On the international stage, I believe they got a top 6 at the last major.
Yep.
Which was their best result for the year. Definitely a team that a lot of people feel like have the potential to go really deep, but also sometimes just have lackluster showings in individual games or in series as a whole where things just don't
so
click.
I'm going off of memory here, but the first major they qualified for after defeating everybody in the group stage, and then, or not the group stage, but the DPC season. Until the last game, they lost to Undying. So they beat EG and then lost to Undying. There was a 3-way tie. Had to replay them again. Ended up getting second place instead of first. They got lower bracket status there. And then MSS couldn't go to the major, so didn't do amazingly at that one. And then the second major, like you said, top 6 finish.
Yep.
But yeah, they're kind of hit or miss. I agree. I've been expecting a little bit more out of them. So I told them just to not jinx their performance. I'm going to say that they're not going to win any games. See how that works.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about these the other day. How, like, my prediction for this team in the groups is that either they get top 4 or bottom 2. That's where I have them. I don't have them in the middle of the pack.
That's a bit extreme.
And it's just a hunch. Like, I hope for them it's top 4 in the group. Like a lot of their players, especially their coach currently, Kezu, is coaching Quincy crew, a good friend of mine. So would obviously be great to see them doing well. But they start out with arguably the hardest challenge in the entire group. So
for sure,
hopefully, regardless of how this goes for both teams, they get off to a good start, whether it's learning or winning or both.
Oh my.
A lot of drafting to catch up on now, though. LGD with the first pick, IO, seems to be rated really high. Quincy Crew's response with AA and Sand King, so as well as a Lycan coming out from LGD. AA classic counter to IO. It's the negating of the healing, and Sand King with a stun to make sure the Ice Blast can connect on the primary target. Pretty common combination these two together.
And for cold feet as well.
And for cold feet, absolutely. And now they're going to grab Treant Protector as a response to Lycan. Defending the towers, has the overgrowth against Lycan's army, keeping him in place once again for Ice Blast. Very nice. Quincy's lineup has a lot of magic damage and no physical component whatsoever right now. So that is something that their follow-up 2 picks probably have to solve. As far as LGD go, I wonder what they're thinking here. I think Batrider looks like a potential next pick, but they do have 3-4, right? So they would need to grab it now if they wanted it.
Yeah, but this is going to be, not to change the subject temporarily, all that is my style. In terms of the matchup between the teams, it's going to be fun to watch LGD actually playing with their full lineup. Like, all the games we've cast basically in the last couple months have been Zhao 8 mid, picking Spirit Breaker. I'm going to miss that. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to miss the Spirit Breaker mid, but we get to see them in actual full strength. And many people like yourself are not expecting them to miss any beat as a result of having to play with somebody else for so long. Obviously, it was the coach. And then Quincy Crew's side, I just want to mention one thing because I feel like it's under the radar. LOA, also known as SVG, I genuinely think is one of the smartest people in the entire scene, and they've had so much time to prepare for this, so expecting good things out of them overall. But like I said, they're going to lose because I said that I would say that publicly.
All right. Disruptor grabbed here from LGD.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it works pretty well with Wisp. If you see any sort of glimpse, you can relocate on that. You also have Ember to set up relocates now. LGD, I feel like they had one really standout game that impressed me so much. I think you know which game I'm talking about, where they had to split push a lot with an anti-mage.
Yep.
Do you remember that game? I'm getting like vibes of that here just because their lineup's team fight is pretty lackluster, but they have like this very strong ability to push out waves with Lycan, with Ember Spirit, and then if they force rotations, that's where their supports really shine, is when it's not 5v5 scale fights, but like more skirmishy, more scrappy kind of play. And don't get me wrong, if LGD set it up, it's probably not out of a scrappy nature. It's not going to be by chance that they randomly find skirmishes here. It's a very deliberate way of trying to navigate the map with these picks. Terrorblade. Okay.
Oh, all right. More Terrorblade action. Great to see. I mean, from LGD's side, they have a ton of mobility, right? You kind of touched on it a bit, but
yeah. They want to brute force them down here.
It kind of doesn't even matter what they pick here as their last pick in terms of the mobility aspect, because it'll be made up for with IO.
Yeah.
And everybody else.
Seems like Quincy's mentality here is, okay, we recognize what the strength of your lineup is. We are going to pick a carry that gets some farm, and then we just go and force you to fight us at towers. Terrorblade is one of the few carries that can kind of match Lycan in pushing speed. If both heroes are just hitting towers, Terrorblade pushes very quickly.
You know, what happened to Spectre? I was expecting a lot of teams to be picking Spectre. I mean, small sample size so far.
Small sample. Don't worry, it's going to be there.
Oh, I'm not worried.
It will be there.
I'm concerned, but not worried.
They could have picked Spectre too for Quincy. There's actually multiple heroes here that could have been good, right? You could also see Phantom Lancer as a pick in this game. Phantom Rush against IO against Lycan. Decent hero against Ember Spirit. It's like it goes both ways, that matchup for me, because Ember traditionally can do well against the PL with all of his AoE damage, but at the same time, when PL has enough items, it feels like Ember can't really keep up if he's the only one.
Yeah.
And PL flat out just destroys Disruptor. That matchup is so terrible. You have a Static Storm, that's it. If you don't land that, you're just dead. So. There's a Spectre ban, though.
Okay.
So they are respecting that out of Ame here, Quincy crew. Would imagine the second ban is maybe some more common pairing with IO. Chaos Knight is not that good. Sven is banned. Gyro is banned.
Yep.
What are we even looking at? Storm ban here.
Yeah, that is a lot. Is
Monkey King is.
You know, that's the camera for the thing. You know, everybody's looking at you. Go into the menu, Cinderin.
That's true.
There you go. Well done.
There you go.
Very perfect. This is a TI-10 broadcast, by the way.
My bad.
Brought to you by Cinderin.
Wrong monitor.
Has lapses in judgment all the time.
Our observer, JJ, unfortunately went into the menu there a little bit. Sorry about that.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So
you want to check his win rate with Spectre?
No, I was gonna get inspiration for carry heroes. Sometimes just looking at all of the hero overview can be pretty helpful. But now we do have. Now I am going to look at it correctly, Shannon. Thank you for pointing out that I was making a mistake there. Luna is in.
Okay.
Not good against Terrorblade. Do they actually do the anti-mage thing? I don't know if they can pull that off in this game. That's a little bit crazy.
I mean, with IO, it obviously reduces the amount of heroes that we're talking about, because, like... Okay. I mean, that's not the traditional setup for sure.
No, definitely not.
I mean, how is their setup in general for Chrono? It's a bit lackluster here.
Right. It's not the best synergy with Lycan either. But I guess you're just looking at, okay, what's left, right? Like, so many carries are banned. The ones that are in are not very good against Terrorblade for the most part.
5 seconds
So they're going to go for the Void. They have a bit of synergy with Chrono into Static Storm, of course. And Ember can deal decent damage from outside Chrono, even though he's a melee hero. But Lycan is not too hard. Quinn Leshrac as the last pick. Very high pressure lineup from Quincy here. You've got the Leshrac to take towers together with Terrorblade. You have insane mid-game teamfight with Sand King, Treant, and AA. On the side of LGD, it's more like we talked about, more skirmishy in nature, more splitting the map. style. Very curious to see this play out. These two strategies are completely different. They're basically almost polar opposites in what they do, with the exception of Chrono helping out a little bit in the teamfight department for LGD. I like Quincy's draft, though. I think it's very good in this game against what LGD have to offer. So, for your sake, we're going to call the loss for Quincy, because you weren't
10
trying to
seconds
jinx.
remaining.
Yeah.
But either way, I think this is going to be a really, really interesting game
5 seconds remaining.
on a strategic level. I love drafts like this where the two teams have totally different strategies, because it makes it so much more interesting to watch, because they have to think about the game totally differently.
Is there? I know it's different strategies, but is there a time of the game that each respective team is looking forward to for their power spikes, so to speak?
I think it's hard to just identify like a time for me here, because like for Quincy, their lineup is online relatively early. Leshrac gets some levels, Terribly gets one item, then you can push and fight, and it feels like LGD can't. So it's not really about the time as much as it's about the timing in the game, where, okay, do we force the right hero rotation? It's about finding holes in the plot, basically, from Quincy, right? Like, there's very clear, all right, we're going to go, we're grouping up, we're taking this and this. If we manage to pull back Leshrac or Terrorblade or even Sand King, pull them back to defend a tower, that's when we can make a smoke move, we can just relocate, we can just like an ulti, and make a lot of things happen. So it's a lot about like high skill map dynamics, basically, of pushing waves correctly without getting caught, and reading moves.
Right.
Those kind of strategies I would not advise for like tier. I think, for example, the lineup that LGD is playing right now is really difficult to execute for a tier 2 team or tier 3 team, right? But at the absolute highest of levels, these kind of strategies can be executed. But it's
Prepare
hard.
for battle.
It's hard to play like this, in my opinion.
Oh my god! They spelled my name wrong.
Did they capitalize it incorrectly?
They capitalized the F incorrect.
Oh, no.
I actually haven't tried it in game, so wow.
Oh, no.
Thank you, LOA, for bringing that to my attention. I will definitely bug report this to Valve themselves after this game.
They used your voice line, though. That's great.
Yeah, that's one person.
That's free advertisement right there. That's good. Guys, make sure you get Sunsfan's autograph.
Yeah. Cinderen's as well. It's not as good.
Oh, nice.
But,
You said I thought you weren't going to say
and I guess Pimp. Pimp's a pretty good observer. He's okay.
Get JJ's as well.
He's one of the 3 best. Right?
Get JJ's while you're
out of 3. But he plays a lot of Dota, as we went over already. So okay, so LGD versus
30
Quincy
seconds
Crew.
to battle.
These teams have actually played twice, only 2 games, I should say. LGD 2-0'd them, and I believe, wasn't that the Animajor? I'm trying to remember exactly. I don't think they met up at another tournament past that, but if I remember correctly, it was relatively close games.
Was it? You're saying it was at the Animajor they met?
I think so.
That was LGD's standout dominance tournament, right?
Yeah.
They were so good in that one.
I'm pretty sure. So either way, but yeah, Quincy Crew has something to prove for sure, and like you said, this is their
The battle
first respective
begins.
matches from each respective team. So definitely want to get off to good starts. As the
3 runes
wow,
for LGD.
PSG.LGD with 3 runes, indeed.
Let's look at lane matchups. Leshrac versus Ember, I think, is slightly Leshrac favored, but not by a lot. A lot of it comes down to Ember's usage of Flame Guard to handle the incoming magic damage harassment from Leshrac, and obviously if you're clutch with Sleight of Fist dodges onto Split Earth. So I think both heroes should be doing pretty well here.
By the way, Ame very late and is transitioning to top lane right now.
They're going to do a tri-lane top and play Lycan solo bottom.
Wow.
Tri-versus
Tri-lane with Void.
both teams tri-laning here.
Yeah.
Very, very unusual and interesting.
Is this
That sounded so sarcastic, but it wasn't.
very interesting gameplay? That would have been a good voice line. You should have done you should have done your robot voice line. So sorry, you were saying who wins this matchup typically? The Lesh versus Ember?
I think slightly Lesh favored.
Okay.
Right now it's going, oh, Leslau taking a lot of damage top. He will be okay. They're going to TP. Okay, so first to rotate will be Quincy. They're going to rotate up Trient to Leslau up here, but already Faith Beyond having a much better start than the Sand King in the top lane. Actually getting almost, what's this? Is this almost the first 2 full waves? He's 7 CS, 1v3.
Yeah.
Bottom, off to an absolutely awesome start given the circumstances. And now this top tri lane for me is going to be very interesting to watch, just because it's so uncharacteristic. Like,
instant D ward too.
what kind of a tri lane is this? Disruptor, IO, Void. It's very different.
Well, we
let's
talked
say.
about how Void, used to be one of the worst laners in the entire game. He's decent now. Like,
Yeah.
time dilation at the very least has been like micro buffed constantly throughout the last X amount of months, however long it's existed.
Yeah.
I don't think you get more than one still as a core, do you?
Generally not, no.
There's the idea of
Forward
playing it
core.
as support where you max it out and it's actually
It's
relatively good. But
pretty legit
then you're playing
sometimes.
support as Void, which could be a hit or a miss, I guess.
Yeah. Hotkeys.
Okay, very good. Make sure you have the right neutral item equipped. The hotkey ready for whatever drops in case
Yep.
it's the tumbler's toy,
Yep.
for sure.
Or a little 90% lost piggy.
So what is your reasoning for Quincy Crew being top 4 or bottom 2? That's you're talking about in just group or TI?
In groups. In the group.
Oh.
No, oh, you thought it meant TI in general?
Yeah, I thought you
No,
meant TI.
It was
Okay.
for the group, which, I mean, how bold of a prediction is that really? That just means they don't get 5th, 6th, 7th,
Yeah.
right?
That's not that big.
It's not like that bold. They don't strike me as a team that's going to finish middle of the pack because of what we talked about earlier. They can have very polarizing performances. They can have really, really well executed strategies and planning. I think especially SVG is very good at laying out a game plan before the game even begins, like the draft even begins.
Yeah.
A great standout example for me was their series against Vici Gaming at the Animajor, where in game number 1 they absolutely stomped them with a Venomancer strategy that no one was playing. They just had this read that Vici Gaming plays slow, they play this kind of style, this is how we're going to attack it, and it's going to work. And it did. I think they lost the series the next 2 games, though. But that one game was very well prepped. And in group stages, that matters a lot. If you come in with a well-prepped game and you win the first game, that's already awesome, right? Like, then the worst possible outcome is a draw at that point.
Right, especially when you're going up against a team that many are picking to win TI entirely,
Right.
in LGD.
So with that in mind, I feel like that when the prep is right and when the plays click, Quincy can look amazing. But then they also have these drop the ball games and moments. That also happened at the Animajor. They had, I think it was a game against, I want to say it was either SG or I think it was No Ping.
No Ping, yeah.
Which was so scrappy, and they were not happy.
That
I
was
think they won the
that was
series
the
2-1.
Shard game, the infamous Shard game, where they left it in the pit.
They won the series 2-1, but looked very unimpressive while
Yeah.
doing that. And then the next day, they just crushed Vici game 1.
And I
right?
believe
So,
that was the series where the meme of Quinn was taken, right? The picture of his face, I believe. Maybe,
Oh.
maybe that was the next series. At the Animajor, regardless. You're going to see Kinetic Feel into MSS right now. Ame trying to apply some pressure here with the Thunder Strike from Innocence, a.k.a. Y as well. And Ame is going to the other side with the Time Walk, apparently. Will be using the taunt around the rock. Very important to show that you did not make a mistake there. As more hotkeys, apparently.
maybe you could set up your hotkeys before the game starts.
Yeah, that's a thought.
All right, I'm ready for the third guy.
These are micro pauses, Syndran.
That's true. At least they're very quick at fixing it, so that's good.
So Faith Beyond, after getting that entire wave like you talked about, has dropped off a bit compared to everybody else, but that's to be expected because, right, Lycan in lane these days with the Wolves, what is the difference between, this is going to sound weird, like between Lone Druid, like the Wolves are much more susceptible to damage,
Yeah.
but are you getting as many last hits as a Lone Druid would, in theory?
Well, one of the differences is that Lone Druid has a bear.
Yeah,
and
the
these
bear
are
is stronger
wolves.
generally. Yeah.
That's probably the biggest difference, honestly, so there's different animals.
What if you could equip items on the Wolves?
So they look like bears.
No, like, got it.
Oh, you didn't mean cosmetics.
Yeah,
Meant
actual
in game.
items, yes. Courier's going to be taken out by LOA.
Well, the main difference is, so these have a lot of magic resist, but they have very low health, so in terms of physical right clicks, you kill them very easily.
Yeah.
The Lone Druid Bear has a lot more health, but also gives a way bigger bounty. So killing the bear compared to killing 2 wolves is a lot more value, but also a lot harder. So like, the
Especially
payoff-
because wolves are in packs, and bears don't work together.
Yeah.
Unless they're related. Not sure where I was going with that one. LOA is going to get
don't know
pressured
either.
now, right? With Shin Q attached to a wolf, so he's part of the pack right now. Man, LOA takes so much damage from those. And Yawar, you can see on the Terrorblade for now. In terms of CS, doing quite well for himself. As Y is going to get caught out. The grasp is there from MSS. Quinn with the split art not quite in range. So as a result, Y will live. But mid lane, Quinn 30 and 8. Nothing to say. Basically the same.
now both
So
heroes
wash.
finding oh, Quinn is out of mana.
Yeah,
He is
but
dead.
LOA is here to try to save the day. Gets the cold feet off, nothing to say, trying to get to the last. Can he get, oh, just out of range, and the first blood goes to LOA. Oh my goodness, all planned by Quinn, I'm sure.
Oh, he thought Quinn juked off to the right in the trees and went for it.
It's actually a fitting line for that. It's actually so fitting. So let's see, when does he come out of Fog of War here? So, ooh, yeah, okay.
Well, he couldn't have thought he juked there. He saw him right.
I think he just missed.
Not very good targeting, I guess. But
Radiant's top tower.
But he knew he was dead either way, so just trying to get that first blood before he goes down.
I think it's completely fine to go for it at that point. But a little bit of a misstep, I think, earlier got him out of range. After he threw the 3 remnants, he could have probably stayed on top of the Leshrac a little bit better. But nice response as well from SVG to come in there, or sorry, LOA as he's called now, to grab that kill as well. Top lane.
Yeah, a lot of name change. Leslau was Lelis, so if you hear that, that's the reasoning. See the bash come online for Ame, and he's going for Mask of Madness.
Dire's middle tower is under
I mean, are you
attack.
expecting anything crazy out of the build here? We see a lot of Maelstrom. I don't know if you go Maelstrom and Mask of Madness.
I think you do.
And then you take apart Mask of Madness later for Satanic.
Yeah,
and
Void needs a
Butterfly.
farming item, and Mask of Madness isn't enough. I think you have, and Maelstrom's also a really good item against Terrorblade, right?
Yeah.
You want that magic damage component, if possible, against him.
Oh, Quinn might get caught out. Nope, just on the right side of the kinetic field. And Shin-Q in the vicinity with those Spirit Balls. Trying to keep this siege alive just for a couple more right clicks. That looks like it's going to fall here. A lot of damage done to the tower, though. Half HP in 7 minutes.
Unexpected that the Leshrac tower is half HP and the Ember tower is full. Usually Leshrac is going to be pushing and dominating the lane as much as possible, get any power rune, and then look to damage the tower.
Oh, TP coming in. It's going to be Ame. He is level 6, gets the Chronosphere off. Faith Beyond is wolf form, so he's going to get a couple, literally one right click off with that Chronosphere. LOA takes a tumble. Jin-Q on the other side now, attached to a Centaur right now. Yuar's going to get hoof stomped. Ame in vicinity as well. Faith Beyond. Looks like they're going to get this kill onto Yuar. Does not have Sunder yet. He is only level 5. MSS will TP out to safety. So nice rotations here from LGD.
Really cool synergy between Io and Lycan, right?
Yeah.
You remember how core Ios used to go Helm of the Dominator so that they could just dominate a creep and then fly around the map?
Yeah, like a wolf.
What if you're, yeah, like flying wolves? What if you just have a friend that buys it instead?
Radiant's top tower
So
is under
he
attack.
plays with Lycan's Dom
Dire's
creep,
bottom tower
and when
is
Lycan
under
uses
attack.
ulti,
So
Io is also hasted.
They obviously share control, right?
Yeah, probably, right? You would imagine that they just share control and Jin-Q is just playing the Dom creep.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool synergy just because this was nerfed a lot where the Dom with Io used to be super
Radiant's
fast
top
and then it got
tower
nerfed.
is full.
It's quite a bit slower.
But now when you use Lycan ult, it's like the old Io.
That's true.
You just have that creep be hasted, so...
That's a good point. Well, the hoof stomp's going to
Very
connect
cool.
onto LOA, but nothing to really follow it up with, at least not
A
yet.
lot of damage, though, from
Indeed.
nothing
Quinn,
to say.
look-
Double damage rune.
Quincy feels like they want to fight, but maybe a little bit hesitant right now.
Nice job from them getting the top tier 1 tower, though. This is a very early offlane tower. 8 minutes 30. They take.
That's
the
true.
enemy
We see
offlane
so
tower.
many games where they get 2 racks and that tier 1 is still top, right?
So look, look at Ame here, by the way. It's like he can't decide. I'm
Just
hitting this
right
guy.
on the edge, too.
Whatever.
So the fact that Chrono caught Yuar is why he ends up dying
Dire's
here.
middle
Yeah.
tower
He definitely
is
would have
under
gotten out.
attack.
Look at that center creep, super fast.
Yep, that's good stuff. Good synergy for sure.
And now they're pushing mid, and well, it looks like MSS wants to defend, but
Yeah.
he gets caught.
All right,
okay,
Burrow
good
Strike from Leslau. Looks like Y is going to take the brunt of the damage here and will fall as a result. MSS, Thunderstrike might tick him out. He's going to be next to the trees here as Jin-Q. Looks like he's going to get brought down by Quinn instead, so MSS somehow lives through that, but 2 support kills in favor of Quincy Crew.
Great defense.
And now you can heal up the tower.
You have Treant. It's really important that the towers don't fall.
Radiant's
gonna
middle
be
tower is
investing
under attack.
all of his living armor cooldowns into this mid tower, probably.
Yep.
Leslau's gonna get
Talk to me about Sand King as a hero right now, because it kind of dropped off the map the last few, I want to say last few years, and then this last year has kind of been brought back as an offlaner in a lot more games.
He received a couple of buffs and other offlaners got nerfed, and what Sand King always has going for him is he has this great ability to defend towers with Sandstorm, and
Dire's
something that
bottom
will
tower is
always
under
be good in Dota is having quick stuns, right? Something that sets up a fight. when you see weakness, when you find a moment of opportunity, Sand King is one of those offlaners that just capitalizes immediately. And then on top of it, he also has a teamfight ability in the epicenter, of course. So,
And the fact that
I think
you
conceptually the hero has always been good. It's just about the tweaking of the numbers,
see,
right?
how big of a deal is the fact that you don't channel it anymore? It's just a cast time.
It helps. That's nice. It's a feel-good thing where you can pump fake it to make a reaction come out. And if you change your mind, you don't have to commit it. Mid tower again.
Yeah.
LGD just really want this tower.
Yeah, Quincy Crew might have to give it up. The siege is in the vicinity. We'll continue to pound upon it. And yeah, they're not in position now, but there's a fort just to delay it a little bit longer. And you get the refresh, of course, once it gets killed. And finally, a tower goes the way of PSG.LGD.
Claimed here by Jinkyu. Closing in on Holy Locket with this.
Okay.
Will be. I wonder who he's primarily going to be healing. Like right now, it's the Centaur creep that he's tethered to. But later on in the game, I suppose he will just flat out play with the Void and try to keep him safe. Ame is, by the way, going for the Maelstrom as expected. So,
yep.
No big surprise there.
Oh, and he got the great neutral item choice as well. Again, I say choice. You just have to pray correctly.
It's a lot worse than it used to be, right? Now that it's the flat lifesteal instead of percentage.
Well, you don't keep it past tier 1.
Right.
But it's still good.
It's good.
During
It's
this time.
It's 7 agi. It's nice.
And Faith Beyond into the enemy jungle he goes. He's going to pop that ult just to try to get away. You can see the Static Storm applied only to 1 right now in the kinetic field. LOA's ult is coming out. Basically just clips Y, but
Quinn
ends
with
up
the
getting
haste
cleaned up
rune,
as a
getting
result.
juked, though.
Ooh, Faith Beyond will
Nice
get out.
juke.
But it's a 1-for-1. Looks like MSS gets brought down by Faith Beyond himself. Looks like probably a wolf just killed him, huh?
So,
My goodness. It was a centaur creep that killed him. Oh, okay.
it was a bear.
That's close enough.
We've talked about this Lycan cosmetic, by the way. We both love it. The wolf form.
Yep.
When he uses ulti, very, very cool.
Very cool indeed. Thank you for bringing it up during a TI-10. This was a
I
TI-10
thought you were going to love this.
non-sponsored cosmetic talk.
You love talking about cosmetics.
I do. They're fun.
Yeah.
So almost done with his Vlads into the helm of the Overlord. Has the tomato creep right now. I think one change they need to make with the tomato creep is when he dies, he needs to, like, ketchup needs to spill everywhere. What do you think?
Yeah. And then we could have, like, sponsored ketchup brands come out of it.
That's the next
Very
level
good.
cosmetic stuff.
Smart. Very smart. Bottom tower under siege, but they're a little bit hesitant here.
Yeah.
Having the Conjured Images attack a little bit, but they're not using Edict, which is what makes this fast. And maybe for good reason, because PSG.LGD are heading over.
Yeah, meta is popped by Yawar, and he's
Yawar's no
basically
mana.
out of mana right now.
Yeah.
Searing Chains onto Quinn, who has to pop his Diabolic Edict, and with that, I think they just back.
They just defended. And Amis is farming in the meantime, so nice hold here. Sending the right amount of resources, I would say, down here, PSG.LGD.
Looking for a glimpse. Oh, he's in the fog. Okay. Scared me there. Y with the Tumbler toy. Level 6, of course. And this might be a concession of the Tier 1 tower, now that you've TP'd out. So this likely will be a second tower in PSG.LGD's way. So, with the Treant, like, what makes it a successful Treant game? Obviously, what warrants the pick? That's a better way to ask that. Like,
so what did you pick
delaying
it into?
the towers, or
Yeah, you picked it into Lycan specifically, right? So delaying the towers for sure, and then finding 1 or 2 good overgrowths in a team fight is probably what you're hoping for with this pick. So far, it's only really been the tower delays, and it hasn't been that great. Like 14 minutes in, you've still lost 2 towers, and the one you have left is the easiest one to take.
oh, we're gonna see the burrow into the AA ult. Quinn can't even get off the Split Earth, really. It was the Pulse Nova that got that kill. Has the Arcane Rune already activated, so an easy peasy kill for Quincy Crew. But Ame, uh-oh, he finds Yawar inside the Chronosphere with the Thunder Strike to help as well. MSS gets off the Overgrowth, just needs a little bit of time to get the Sunder off, but no, gets glimpsed back into the arms of the rest of LGD. A huge kill for them.
Really cool as well to see Ame sidestepping there between every single attack to try to dodge Overgrowth from outside the Chrono. Not even really a damage loss, right? As long as you weave in and out between each individual attack, you're just making MSS's life that much harder, and he does end up overgrowthing, and still, with that Static Storm, they do find the kill. That's a big one with Yawar out. They do also commit 2 ultis to it, so maybe a moment of opportunity here for Quincy Crew to look at this mid tower. with some Edict plus meta in 25 seconds. So that does indeed seem to be the play here. It's going to TP mid on Terrorblade. Maybe he's just playing triangle for a bit, but I think it's a mistake if you don't take advantage right now of this Chrono being on cooldown. Like, you really want to get something out of it. Might not need to be a full tower, but at the very least, a decent chunk here. So you're going to see here, notice how Ame starts weaving from side to side here. Okay, actually only did it once.
It was just enough, Cinderin.
Well, it did in the end get caught by the overgrowth anyway, but didn't matter. Why was there getting
He's
the
going
job
for
done.
BKB next, it looks like. And Manta was picked up by Yawar. And I want to mention Lelis has, I believe, almost finished his Crimson Guard, which is obviously a great item against
Radiant's
Lycan.
middle tower is under attack.
Not an item we see that often, regardless, though.
I think it's... I don't know if it's better or worse than it used to be against Lycan back when he went Necrobook, right? Because, yeah, then he...
Oh, Yawar's all alone again inside the Static Storm Kinetic Field combo. And that is while the Tier 1 tower is going down, so at the very least they get something out of it, but...
These deaths are
2
big.
kills.
They might lose Quinn too like this. He has Invis Rune. There is a sentry.
Yeah, he's literally on top of it. The Wolves catch him out. To be a bit careful. There's the time dilation, and he has to pop the Pulse Nova, but he's completely surrounded now. They're just kiting him as much as possible. There's the Overgrowth to try to stem the bleeding. Looks like Quinn might live as a result, so the sacrifice from MSS is certainly worth it. Although nothing to say is continue with the pressure here. See the Burrow Strike finishes off Y in the meantime, so if you want to count the Yawar kill, it's a 2 for 1, but now Lelis gets caught out. Double kill for Faith Beyond. Quincy crew making some crucial mistakes here.
Yeah, they're just... they didn't even get the... Okay, it's 12 health. They should probably deny this.
Oh, I
tower at
thought
this
they
point,
got
right?
that.
No.
My goodness.
I was going to say about the Crimson Guard on Sand King here now that this fight is over. So the old Lycan build when Necronomicon was a thing was... Crimson Guard was better and worse against it because it had a Dispel, right? So you can Dispel one guy that Crimson was on, but it will protect a lot of the rest. Now, there's no Dispel anymore, but Lycans don't have all those summons. They have one really big guy that hits way harder than the Crimson Guard blocks. So I actually don't know. Like, I think he wouldn't buy it unless there was also Sleight of Fist, right? It's because he has added value of also having this Ember do spread damage. But in my personal experience... Oh, hang on.
Oh, Burrow into Sandstorm. Quinn.
Chrono.
He's going to get chronoed by Ame, who's just going to solo him down. Doesn't have that much damage, though, so maybe Quinn can live a little bit longer, but not to be this time around. Leslau now stuck inside the trees with that Sandstorm. See MSS on the other side of the tree line as well, but he's going to get dusted and likely brought down here. I believe Quincy crew just need to back. Ame able to time walk out, and that's going to be a freebie for LGD again. 2 big, I mean, that's 2 core kills. At least Yawar lived, though, this time, on the other side of the map.
Yeah. Really finding the silver linings here. Well, at least we didn't all die. Can always point to one hero that survived that wasn't involved.
That's right.
But yeah, it's LGD are really ramping it up here. Really good read from Ame that he could kill there. I don't think that was obvious that that Chrono was a kill on the Lesh, but having the Mask of Madness and Maelstrom was just enough. I think maybe Living Armor had already been used. If that was that, maybe it was even on the Lesh. Did he kill him through Living Armor too?
I'm not sure. Oh, we have some TPs from Quincy crew. Quinn. Well, they don't have quite vision of Y right now, but the Static Storm is placed right on top of Quinn. He's going to do some damage here once he's out, thanks to that Pulse Nova. Shin-Q trying to save Y's life, and looks like he's going to be successful, and they're just going to turn this around onto Quinn, but there's the Overgrowth AA Blast coming as well. Faith Beyond's going to get hit with the Burrow Strike in addition to the AA ult, and down he goes. Finally, something for Quincy crew. Nothing to say with very little mana to speak of, but it doesn't look like Quincy crew have any more catch.
With how that was looking for Quinn, that's a good outcome for them to get the Lycan there and get out with no casualties. Huge amount of damage is being shown here by our lovely observer.
Lovely
Jai, get his autograph now. I don't know why that was the accent, but
that's not an accent that exists other than in the robot.
I made up a country. All right, so we're seeing the replay here. Static Storm onto Lesh, and at this point, when Disruptor gets saved, this looks scary for Quinn.
Yeah.
And this Overgrowth saves everything right there. Both of them, they set up the Ice Blast very nicely, follow up Burrow Strike there nicely from Quincy. And obviously with that, if Lesh dies there, maybe they even lose the top tier 2 tower. But they hold it on without taking basically any damage on it. And Jawar's making good progress here as well. He's closing in on Scotty on the Terrorblade. Void's BKB, however, also completed, so looking very, very good for him as well.
Is this a game where you would prioritize at some point, if it goes into the later stages, obviously, the Ags on Disruptor, Chrono into Static Storm on TB, and you just can't live.
And you're playing it against a lineup that has 0 saves, so it is really good here.
Drums are popped, and LOA will be the sacrifice this time. Gets off the Ice Blast, but not to much avail.
Is this going to be a Roche opener?
It looks like that's what they want to do. I mean, the Ice Blast they know is not going to be up even if they were to take 20 seconds to kill this, which it won't take that long.
Or if he bought back, especially.
Or bought back, yeah. So first Roche goes to LGD. Lycan going for the shards. So that's the wolf that spawns in a random lane. We used to hate this thing, but it's actually pretty decent now.
I still hate it.
I think it's actually okay.
It's not about how good it is.
Oh,
it's just,
okay.
I don't think the design is very interesting, personally.
I think it's interesting because it's unique.
Yeah,
that's what the definition of interesting is, unique.
Yeah. Sure. I agree it's unique. Okay?
Synderen, you're interesting.
Thank
Your face is interesting.
Yes.
Just want to let you know that.
It's a very unique face.
Yes. I agree.
But among itself, it doesn't have that many expressions.
Well, maybe in the next operating system update. So, 3K network lead for LGD. Ame, of course, with the Aegis now. Plenty of time to work with. He's going for a Mjolnir as the next item of choice. Into Lincoln's, it looks like.
How many things are going to proc static charge here? Because when you upgrade into Mjolnir from Maelstrom, the damage increase, it's pretty good with the attack speed, right? But you already have Mask of Madness. So I think from a raw DPS standpoint, you already have the attack speed, so you might want to buy the damage instead, like Daedalus or
well, they want to get rid
MKB.
of Mask of Madness eventually as well, right?
Right. That's probably
that's
a good point. That's probably why. He's probably going to get this and then Satanic, right?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
There's that wolf. So the reason this becomes pretty good is the Howl mechanic, the fact that it's global. It's been a while like that, obviously, but the minus armor onto, and the fact that these wolves actually cripple towers. Cinder, did you know that?
Yeah.
That's, I believe, minus attack speed, if I'm not mistaken. And is there a bleed effect? I can't remember. It's like a, I thought it was like the old MAME kind of.
Only in Dota can towers bleed. That.
Yeah, damage per second, 8. See?
Yeah.
And it works on towers. Let's see this massive damage. Oh, they fortified. See, you got to respect the wolves. Yeah, absolutely fortified for that wolf.
This wolf ran away, though, so it's controlled.
Okay.
That was not the shard.
Be quiet, Synderen.
Yes.
So,
why?
Your face is really interesting. All right, we have a smoke here from Quincy Crew.
Why?
Trying to backstab now. Oh, nothing to say.
Epi fake. They just got the tower.
Yeah, for free.
Quincy didn't really find an angle hit. They're trying now to do a full wraparound, but.
Oh, I hear the Epi. He's waiting.
This can be really good or really bad.
Yeah, Burrow strikes only onto one, but it is the Disruptor trying to take him out before he gets his ult off. Ame pops the BKB. Y is getting healed so much from Jin Q. How is he not dead? Buyback onto the tree ant now. Static Storm there. Quinn in a ton of trouble. Looks like he's just going to get brought down by Ame's right click. So the Bloodstone is activated. Look at the health regen out of control. Aegis is finally expended, but it might be at the cost of Quinn's life if he's not careful. Attempting to run away, but the minus armor from the Howl and the right clicks will suffice. 2 for 1. Actually 3 for 1 with the buyback onto the tree. And okay, so Quincy Crew, you said it could be really good or really bad. That was not good. They got 1 kill.
The outcome wasn't good,
Aegis.
but they didn't even play it that badly, I think. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
But I think Yawar arrived too late for this move. Look at the minimap right now.
Look at how much Y gets healed by Jin. This is insane.
Yeah, Ice Blast is finally coming out later, but like now Terrorblade showed up, right?
Yeah.
It's just too late. If you're making this move, I don't think this works. Like, you imagine the same fight with Yawar there 5 seconds earlier. I think they win it.
Yeah, possibly.
And instead, this is a 4 for 1. It really is a game of seconds sometimes, and that was a... The way they entered that and the fact that they kept Quinn alive for so long should theoretically pay off bigger than 1 kill there, right? Really got maximum value out of Living Armor plus Crimson Guard.
Yeah, I think that fight, I mean, LGD were in the driver's seat to some degree, but this has taken it to another level. 7K network lead. They are looking very good, but there's the Burrow strike. A Blast is missed onto creeps instead. And Ame's just going to pop his BKB and try to turn this around now. Quinn going to get bashed up. Y on the back line as well. Jinkyu gets in with his ult. And this is looking really bad for Quincy Crew. But Leslie gets off his ult in turn. Epicenter forces them back completely. But Quince has been stuck inside this Connect field seemingly the entire game. And they're afraid to go high ground now. But here comes Ember Spirit. That's going to be 1 kill. Make it 2 for Nothing to Say. Triple kill on top. Oh, man. That was rough for Quincy Crew. And LGD... God damn it. LGD...
What happened to the Ice Blast? I didn't even see it on the screen.
I saw it. It hit... He just misclicked.
Oh.
It hit neutral creeps.
Oh, no. That's the nerfs. That, honestly, I think that would have killed. Right? Maybe he has Essence Ring, right? He has Essence Ring, so he might have lived anyway, but...
Yeah, this is going to be, at the very least, 1 full set of racks. With the... He's had this Granite Golem the whole game. What are your thoughts on this?
Pretty much.
With an IO, it's actually pretty cool, right?
It's just more health. You're playing against a lineup that primarily does magical damage, except this one Terrorblade.
Like, do you actually prioritize that versus the Dragon in this lineup because of that? Or
with how you're playing fights, I think so. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Although the Dragon would also be nice because it forces Terrorblade to deal with it, because none of the other heroes can.
Maybe only the Granite Golems have come up and we're looking too into this.
That's very possible. There are Dragons now.
Oh my god, Nothing to Say. Look at that. Yeah, that was set up beautifully for him. So Lincoln Sphere, Cinderin.
Yep.
It blocks Burrow Strike.
Yep.
And I think that is literally it. Am I wrong? Sunder.
For the what? Sunder is
and
the big
Cold
one.
Feet.
Yeah.
But Lincoln's LOA is going to get brought down.
Hit the Ice Blast though.
Why Lincoln's? Is it just for Sunder? Is that the main thing?
I think so, yeah.
That's
Probably is.
not a very common choice in a game like this where there's not like a Doom or... I mean, Lincoln's is like a forgotten item, it feels like.
What even?
What am I missing here? I mean, it blocks Burrow though, right?
Yeah.
So that is a major one.
It's good, but I don't know if it's necessary. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, 13k net worth lead for LGD now. The tier 2 tower looking like it will fall. Oh, Smoke getting ready to go for Quincy Crew potentially. Yeah, I mean, from their perspective, what needs to be done? Like, what's the combo here? Overgrowth into AA Blast on several heroes, I would assume, is a minimum at this stage. And is there an item that Yawara is looking for? Like, I guess the BKB is the...
I think it's go time, but I think most importantly, you need all your heroes there at the right place at the right time, and you need to hit a combo like you said. So Terrorblade needs to be able to attack during Overgrowth into Sanking Stun. Then you have the damage still to find key kills in this, but unfortunately for Quincy Crew, they kind of missed the window that was the really scary play for LGD about 5 minutes ago. Like, that is when that could have been super scary, when the Scotty was fresh. I don't think the BKB on Terrorblade is that integral to the success of their lineup. In all honesty, I don't even know if he should have bought it. What are you countering with this? Slight Chains and a Static Storm?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe he values the Sunder that high.
There's the Smoke. LOA. Oh, he just got 2-shot by a rock. Yep. There might have been a Sleight of Fist there as well, but we'll ignore that aspect and just give all the credit to the Golem itself as Quinn takes a tumble. So this is just snowballing out of control in LGD's favor for sure.
Their top wave is coming in about 10 seconds if they cut the next one. That should break backdoor protection mid. That's exactly what they're going to do. He's going to hold the wave here. And mid is now open for business if they want to try to push there. Doesn't necessarily look like they're going to force high ground. No, they will. Why not?
Yep, you are forced to use his Manta. Ice Blast, they know, is available in the spawn area.
Yeah, they'll chill.
Can we get an update on where the wolf is?
There are 2 wolves
there
bottom.
There we go. That's a good wolf.
There's 2 bottom.
Oh, wow. 2. Wait, how does that happen? Is that his actual wolves then?
No. I guess there was just a big wave, so it took them a long time to chew through it.
Wow.
Because you know why it took them a long time?
Oh, that was another update. They stopped the aggro on the Lycan, or on the wolves as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Sorry, you had a joke, I'm sure. What was it?
No.
You're saving it for another time?
Very serious.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, this might be the last-ditch effort for Quincy Crew. Of course, this is only game 1 of this 2-game series for the group stage of TI-10. Quincy Crew need a miracle. They need a perfect initiation. Roche is now up you can see they wanted to go for Innocence or Y on the Disruptor, and he just couldn't be brought down. They just didn't have enough damage. Because, like you said, Yawar wasn't in range, and Io with the ridiculous amounts of heal. But we'll see. Ame has the Mjolnir and Lincoln Sphere and BKB, playing it super safe this time around. Quinn. Oh, Searing Chains is there. AA Blast is coming in. Ame just time walks to safety. Alloway gets destroyed by Nothing to Say on the backside. Buybacks galore, but no ult for LOA in turn as Yawar gets off the Sunder finally. But it's going to be a big chrono onto the only hero that really matters, as Quinn is just going to be brought down eventually. But Yawar looking for the Sunder. He's already used it, actually. Triple kill for Faith Beyond, and that is likely to be GG for game number 1. And there it goes.
Absolutely crushed. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one for Quincy Crew.
I think in theory, from a strategic point of view, the Quincy Crew lineup has tools to beat this Radiant lineup. I really think so.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this. You wouldn't chalk this up to like a draft loss or the lane. So
no,
it also went fine.
Yeah. There was a couple deaths from Yawar that were
he died twice in a row.
Really not needed.
And maybe that threw them off the timing that they have like perceived for this strategy, where it's like, okay, we're gonna be ready around this time, and then they just aren't because his items have been delayed by, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes from those 2 deaths. But more than anything, like the cohesion is just better from LGD. Like the heroes are there at the right place, the right time. They're finding angles. They're making really strong moves.
I mean, if you're Quincy Crew, this is a game where you're like, all right, we can go look at the replay if we want to see what mistakes we made, but you got to forget about, like, there was a lot of uncharacteristic things that happened. Like the Ice Blast, just complete misclick, stuff like that just can't happen in a TI level game.
No.
Especially when you're facing the supposed best team in the entire world right now.
Yeah.
So.
And you're seeing why in this game, because this is not, again, I don't think this PSG.LGD lineup is easy, like super easy to play or super straightforward to understand. And the way they're doing this here is just world class. Like, they make it look so easy, but believe me, this is not that easy as it looks. They're just exceptionally good, and they're showing up in top form, it looks like, at least based on this game. It was stellar performance basically the whole way around from everyone. So, scary team, and not disappointing on day 1 so far. Anyway.
Absolutely. So that's the end of game 1. Game 2 will be back at you in about 5 minutes, so stay tuned, friends. Hello, everybody. Man, I cannot get this wire to stay behind me for the life of me. First world problems.
Yep.
Morbid obesity and whatnot. Sunsfan here with Slack or
Yep.
Cinderin.
That's me.
Mm.
That's okay. That's an honest mistake.
You know what? He is so skinny now that
Yeah.
it's kind of resembles.
That's what you
him.
identify people by.
That's true. We're in the draft.
Slack's here.
Let's.
I'm really funny.
Let's
let's
look
watch
at the
the game.
draft. You know, you
Okay.
could screech. You could try the robot screech. So Quincy Crew ends up getting beat by LGD, which, you know, to be expected, as LGD is the strongest team right now by many people's opinion. And they're going to start things out with the Elder Titan Magnus does LGD, while Quincy Crew this time gets the IO Cinderin.
Yep. Interesting bans. So Monkey King Tiny are just getting banned a lot so far. That's not so surprising. But the Weaver and Shaker
10 seconds
coming
remaining.
out from LGD on the
Quincy
bans there,
Crew's
giving
turn
away
to
IO Gyro with the trade-off, like you said, being ET Mag. So another Elder Titan game.
You're going to be right at this rate.
We'll see. I don't actually know what the most picked hero of the tournament is right now, but Elder Titan can't be out of the top 5 at this point, I think, at least.
10
Unless it's
seconds
literally
remaining.
only in our games.
Yeah, it could be. I mean,
Turn
that's
to
technically
ban.
possible, right? Gonna ban Bat Rider. The Void very quickly being taken out by Quincy, scared of that overwhelming team fight with Void ET together with Empower, which is very scary, and something that IO Gyro kind of can play around with really
10
good relocates,
seconds
but it just
remaining.
puts you under a lot of pressure. You need to constantly be aware of skewer
5
positions.
seconds remaining.
So they'd rather just make their lives a little bit easier with this ban. There are a lot of heroes that LGD do play that pair with Mag, though. So I don't think you can ban all of them. You kind of need to pick your poison here. LGD is one of the teams that plays Anti-Mage. They play Jugger. They play Lifestealer, Slark, Ursa. Tons of different options for them against these two from Quincy.
I'm still really sad we won't see Spirit Breaker mid.
Who knows? Maybe Nothing to Say will play it.
Yeah, maybe Zhao H showed him a thing or two about
Yeah.
the fat cow in the mid lane. I mean,
Maybe
it did look
Nothing
pretty.
to Say was like, they won in spite of you, and I will play another hero and it will be a lot easier.
I mean, when they changed the bash to do double damage, or no, it's 1.5 times damage to creeps. That just made him flash farm a little bit. Well, it's what's a lower version of flash farm, like a lower tier? Your English is better than mine.
What would you call that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
What's a halfway flash?
10 seconds
A blink?
remaining.
That's more than a flash, isn't it?
Maybe.
I don't know.
5 seconds
Right,
remaining.
this-
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
For what
English
it's
language
worth.
is not diverse enough. It's not versatile
Needs
enough.
some more. Needs to steal some more words from France. I
That's
think.
right.
That would be a good solution.
Well, coup de grace could be in this game.
True,
With
PA. We didn't
Mag.
mention PA. Definitely a possibility as well. So I think for Quincy, what you're thinking about right now is the enemy lineup is very telegraphed, right? Mag, Elder Titan. It's massive team fight. It's 2 strength heroes. It's melee heavy.
Yeah.
I'm curious what Quincy choose to go for as a response. Options that come to
10
mind against this that
seconds
could be interesting would be something like Undying when you're playing Wisp Gyro.
5
You could
seconds
have
remaining.
a long-range strategy that is less susceptible to getting caught by this. Something like maybe an Ember for Quinn. She likes a lot. I think it's a good hero against these two. You could play Tinker, which we haven't seen yet
Yeah.
on this stream. I don't know if it's been played on the other streams. I haven't seen a draft with it in yet.
So I assume IO is going to be played by MSS, right? Position 4.
More than likely, yes.
Like his IO is pretty damn good for sure. I wasn't really. Who did he play last game again? It was. It wasn't a playmaker at all. It was Tree. Like that just doesn't feel like an MSS hero to me. I'm not saying he didn't play it well necessarily, because he did definitely had impact on the game. But he's one of those guys that can really take over a game as the 4. Like kind of, it reminds me to some degree. It's like a Yapsor type, where they
Right.
can definitely take advantage of like the flashiness of a hero. IO's not the most flashy, but
Trian Dane did either.
10 seconds
all
remaining.
right, Snapfire for LGD.
Yep.
Now you got more
5
minus armor to go
seconds
along with the
remaining.
natural order, theoretically at
More
least.
team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they have crazy team fight, actually. It's true. They have the,
ET Snapfire is a really scary lane.
yeah.
That is nasty. Assuming this Mag is likely going into the hands of Nothing to Say on mid, it's one of his best heroes, but just if you think of the natural synergy that ET and Snapfire have, like you said, there's the whole minus armor component of how hard you hit in lane, but it's also the one thing ET doesn't have when he plays offlane generally is a way of connecting. Because if you stomp, you stand still, then you don't, like, then you spend a lot of the duration on getting in. But with Snapfire, you can bypass the stomp skill point entirely and just get cookied in when you have the buff. If you get on top of anyone in that lane, you hit really damn hard. So, and Snapfire also has a bit of a slow to help you connect. So, pretty interesting.
So you're hoping for this to be a position 3 Elder?
Yes, you're right. It could also just be played by Y, right? It's just a flex pick at this point, basically, for them. But I do know Faith Beyond plays it, so I was considering that as an option just because the lane sounds really strong. But it's a fair point, right? Like, the heroes can be played many different ways. ET could be 5 or 3. Magnus could be 2 or 3 or 5, technically. And Snap is probably the more restrictive one.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, I don't know who else is picking tree right now. It's still very early in TI-10 in terms of the games played, but you can tell that Quincy crew, they value this hero very, very highly.
I feel like there's less of a good reason this game than last game. Last game I saw it more, right? Against the Lycan.
5 seconds remaining.
Here, what are you armoring against?
Well, it's the minus, well, I guess it's the damage reduction, health regen.
It's okay, but you still don't even know what the carry matchup is. What if they just pick Slark? Then Tran is not a particularly good counter to that carry because he has self-dispel every 4 seconds or whatever it is. And
is Lesh good against Slark,
6
though?
seconds. Yeah, he is.
And
so that's
Gyro
true.
with Ags eventually. Not bad against Slark.
Probably nothing to say's hero here.
Yep.
So that puts it as a Faith Beyond Magnus, unless Ame wants to try his hand at carry Magnus again, but that's been a while. I think more than likely they'll just put the mag off lane. Lina mid.
10 seconds remaining.
So support Elder Titan again.
Yeah, probably.
5 seconds.
Man, I don't know. This Treant has me confused. Like, I think this hero can be really good in the right circumstances, but I'm not sure I see the.
PSG.LGD's turn to
I mean, it could be one of those things where Quincy crew is looking at the game state based on the scrims that they've played, and they're like, this is the type of hero that fits our style of play that we think can be very effective. It's less about other heroes being picked to counter. It's more about enabling whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
10
And again, like, this is a...
You're putting Mojo on Treant, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Like,
not necessarily. It could be LOA.
Turn to
Could be a 5 Treant.
oh, yeah, and then a 5. Yeah, sure. Okay. But regardless, you have a support duo that has 0 playmaking, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
they're
that's true.
totally reliant on the cores, and now your other cores have no catch. So I think you've kind of cornered yourself with what heroes you can pick for Leslau and have a dynamic strategy where his hero
10
needs
seconds
some
remaining.
sort of way of setting up relocates or starting fights, because if you don't
5
have that,
seconds remaining.
LGD can honestly just farm, right?
How does Sand King look again this game? I mean, that is a setup.
He's pretty good. He's one of the heroes that comes to mind.
I mean, I know just naming heroes that I've seen him play a ton of. Viper's one of them, but doesn't really fit their team this game around, or this time around.
What else would be good?
He's played some Dragon Knight in the past, but single target. Feels a little bit underwhelming. Played Axe, but that's on the old patch where the counter Helix shard was more an aggressive nature.
Yeah. Mars?
Yeah, he's played a lot of Mars, actually. That's true. Goes the Yule's build.
Not that popular right
10
now of a
seconds
hero.
remaining.
And it just leaves their lineup susceptible to
5
BKB,
seconds
right? Your
remaining.
cores are already less gyro, so
Yeah.
your damage against magic immunity is very limited.
PSG.LGD's
Okay.
Ooh, all right.
That's one we didn't consider. That is a catch. Instant pick. Terrorblade.
Now select your hero.
Hey, you got to get shard on Vengeful Spirit, and you steal damage from TB, Cinderin.
That's true. Mag TB,
Easy
though,
counter.
not a classic empower friend.
Well, if you get shard on Terrorblade and get empowered, you probably farm faster than meta. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like,
probably.
legit farm
do.
faster.
You do.
But that's, I mean, are you spending 1,400 gold to farm more? I don't know.
Just get second Roche, bro.
That's true. Demon Zeal, I believe it's called.
I need Quincy Crew to win me over with this Treant here. I think it's better for them to put it on LOA in general.
Yeah, I agree.
From a player perspective, but when I look at this draft, I just see a Venge that has to work, right? If Venge's game is bad, I think Terrorblade and Magnus just get to do their thing and build up, and you have a mid laner who farms ridiculously fast as well. So
Yeah.
and going into later portions of the game, in TI history, when teams start playing a little bit more tight, maybe taking less risks that are high risk, high reward, heroes like Elder Titan and Magnus just start getting so much value because they're inherently good in long games that are stale. You just have Empower, you have that piercing aura for late game for Mag, and you have the team fight that is so important in general, historically speaking, at TI. That doesn't mean it's always the winning strategy, but a lot of the time, based on how players play, this kind of strategy that LGD has here is very, very strong. And all of their heroes scale, right?
Yep.
That's another thing to keep in mind. On the other side, you have Io and Treant, who are a little bit more capped, so to speak, in how far they're going to get.
For battle.
LGD's lineup scales very well. So I do favor them this time. I think draft versus draft, I like Quincy more last game, to be honest. But we'll see how much Wisp works for them. It was obviously outstanding in 2 games so far today that we've had.
Yep.
Io has been looking great.
Just one of those heroes. Every TI.
Yeah.
That's been around, that is. I believe. Ooh, why? Okay. He's going to get Split Earth. Don't think they have any follow-up, though, so just a little chip damage at the end. Was
Faith
checking for
Beyond
ward.
using Blink's voice line.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a bit of a throwback to Wings 2016, by many considered, in some ways, the best team of all time in Dota. For the short period of time that they were the best, they were incredible, right? And then
Don't remind me.
things
30
just broke them.
seconds to battle.
So, hey, there's no shame in losing to the best team of all time. If
Uh,
you had to lose to someone,
I mean, that's kind of an outrageous statement. The best team of all time for like 3 months. Like, how can you say that? That's so weird.
okay, the most stellar individual performance by a team ever.
Okay, like
Do you
I
agree
would
with
say the best, compared to everybody else, the best team of all time was probably Na'Vi through the first 3
Navi
TIs.
TI1?
TI 1 through
The
3.
battle begins.
They were the
Yeah,
most
I
dominant
guess
team.
so. Okay.
First, second, second.
I know what you mean.
I mean, that's the way that I would categorize like best of all time. You know.
Yeah, it depends what it is you're looking at, right? Is it the result itself, or is it the way in which the team did it, where it felt like Wings were untouchable in the sense of like strategy and draft and the way that they played around each other? It felt like nobody found the counter, you know, at any point. Whereas Na'Vi, at TI1, they were definitely unstoppable. And then in the next 2, people did find solutions, right, eventually. But
Yeah.
they were definitely
I can
outstanding
see what
as
you're
well.
saying. I mean, I disagree vehemently, of course, but you know, respectfully.
That's
So
better than usual.
yeah, that's true.
All right.
So Leslau and LOA together. So I wanted to ask you about this because a lot of the games that I've seen of the Vengeful Spirit offlane, this was before some of the small nerfs that she had, with basically LGD, right? It was Faith Beyond just spamming this in games, and he would have consistently terrible laning stages, consistently, and then he would dominate once he gets
Right.
Ags. Treant is a really good laner. Does that like help that in some regards to
I
get
don't-
off to a better start, or am I looking too into it?
I don't know if they're favored in the lane, just because of how strong ET is. And Terrorblade, when he hits level 2 and level 3, Reflection plus Metamorphosis is hard to fight into.
Yeah.
But I definitely think, like, if you're a Quincy fan here, you want to hope for it. Like, this is the guy to watch, is Leslau. Like, I think Venge needs a good start. Some of the LGD games where Faith Beyond has been off to a rough start, I think the rest of the way the lineups have been rounded out could compensate better than this Quincy lineup.
Ooh.
Leslau is taking a
Yeah,
beating.
that is a lot of damage. Has to pop his Fairy
going
Fire.
Stomp.
Why? Echo Stomp will connect. There's the Astral Spirit for limited vision. And First Blood the way of LGD. Elder Titan is, so far in the couple games that we've seen, Cinderin, looking extremely good on many different levels.
Yep.
And all Ame had to do was one reflection. He basically did nothing else.
Yeah. Elder Titan's a beastly hero in these kind of lanes. Mid lane, Quinn against Nothing to Say looks very even. I think this is a slightly Lina favored lane. Not an expert on the matchup by any means, but Lina generally fares well against other ranged heroes. She outranges them, and she has the good mana economy, just like Leshrac does, for pushing out the wave. And then bottom lane, you've got the Gyro IO against Magnus Snap, where I think, again, both teams are probably going to farm here. Maybe slight advantage IO Gyro. Really nice clutch stomp skill point there.
Yeah.
Coming out.
So in terms of getting off to a good start? Is it really important for any specific lineup? You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
do you need to snowball from either side? I guess it's more from Quincy Crew's perspective because we assume LGD will be in the game.
I feel like Quincy's
the
lineup is on
most
a
part.
timer. There should, if things go well, there should be portions of the game and situations where their lineup's just better. Like when big cooldowns are in play, for example, if RP is down and meta is down, their lineup is insane for a while. But come late game, I will definitely like this Dire lineup. They look so insane late game. Like it has everything you want, except the save, I guess.
Away getting beat down again. I mean, it's not often you see a Treant Protector getting bullied by another melee hero.
It's not that good of lane matchup for the Treant. That's the problem. It's Treant is slow, so what you usually rely on in the lane is just being strong enough to fight back. ET.
No, we see the grasp.
Right. Together, you can do it.
It's the Echo Stomp off though, connects onto both, and why? Ooh, he takes a little bit more damage from that grasp, but it's not going to be enough to take him out completely.
Nice tranquil boost.
At least forces him out if you're from Quincy Crew's perspective here. And we'll see what comes to be with Leslau's Venge. As, oh, he's actually walking inside the grasp completely. A nice Echo Stomp again from Y, mitigating a little bit of damage towards his carry, Ame. And looking at the mid matchup, nothing to say versus Quinn. Wow, 23-10 to 15-5. So nothing to say is having himself a great time right now. You said it was slightly favored for Lina, but maybe a little bit more so than this game, at least, than you were expecting.
Well, how much is he ahead by? This is not a slight win. That is true.
Well, more so than, yeah. He's going to take out these creeps, and nothing to say, just playing very aggressive right now.
He's playing the lane super well.
A little bottle refill from LOA. Wait. Oh, okay. We had nothing to say clicked, so I thought he screwed it up horribly. Not another Ice Blast, Cinderin. We can't have that performance. But yeah, I wish we did like post-game interviews, even in group stage, because I'd be really interested to know like the Treant pick. Obviously, they wouldn't say anything, I guess.
Yeah, so that would be a great interview, huh?
Yeah, it's always a good interview. So, give us some strategy as to why you're doing this, some reasoning. Sorry, can't say. All right, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
That's every Envy interview that's ever been recorded. Everything else has been deleted by his request.
Probably 50-50 whether he took the interview to begin with.
Yeah, true.
All right, they're going in on top. Good damage. All right, one attack.
Thanks for the call. You should be a play-by-play caster.
Looked like they were going to commit more, but I thought they were going to go because meta was ready and everything, but nah, they're just farming.
Yep.
It's just creating a wall in front of Terrorblade to allow him to continue to build.
Yep.
And
nice
honestly,
word here from Y.
Right, hotkeys. Oh, TeamSpeak. All right.
Man, even they use TeamSpeak. Huh.
I think it's actually the default at TI.
Oh, is it?
I want to say.
They don't use Roger Wilco?
No.
We should look into that.
They do drink Roy Rogers, though.
No. Do they?
TI, yeah.
I haven't found any grenadine in Romania.
That would be nice, though. I could do that.
Could we get a request for some grenadine?
How is it that every tournament we cast, we always end up talking about drinks? Like, it's actually, it doesn't matter.
Well, because you are obsessed with starters and drinks, as you call them.
It's always you bringing it up first.
That's not true.
It is actually true.
Can we get an instant replay of this conversation to see who brought it up first? But yeah, this...
can't stand the sound of my own voice. Please don't do that.
I know that LGD is favored in this matchup, but if you're from Quincy Crew's perspective, are you okay with the beginning of this game? Mid is a bit behind right now, but aside from that?
Yeah, it's okay. This is in no way like super defining for the game. You've got Venge, a decent start. It's not flawless, it's not amazing, but it's fine. Gyro's farm is okay. Like you said, Lesh is losing by a little bit, but it's not like a travesty in any of the lanes. I think it's fine. What is really defining for the game for me is what happens around minute 15 to 20, because that's when Quincy Crew can... Oh, Lena's done. No rune lock here for nothing to say.
Yeah.
I was here.
Well,
not connecting.
Not enough
so
move speed.
The reason for me is... Oh, Zinq is going to deny the rune here. That is... Oh, they're actually...
Wow, nothing to say. No. Actually gets it.
He got it. Anyway,
wow.
From TPing. So, the tricky thing for Quincy Crew is to, when they have Leshrac levels and Venge levels, is to take advantage of Metamorphosis and RP being on cooldown to not necessarily just take towers, but also to invade and take away farm from Terrorblade. Oh, take damage here.
Missile. Another Echo Stomp, but LOA does a nice job of sidestepping. But either way, TP has come in the form of Jin Q, and they're going to turn this around onto LOA himself. Good attempt on the juke, but still going to get connected onto that cookie. Leslau trying to TP out, but dies, so lose the TP now in terms of the cooldown. Great turnaround again from LGD. They just seem to be everywhere on the map. Feels like they're really good at capitalizing on these really small mistakes.
Feels like they're really good.
Like, I think Quincy Crew is a really good team, but again, small sample size. It's a game and 7 minutes now. LGD has made them look like 2 tiers below them.
That's a little bit harsh. 1 tier, maybe.
Depends on how many tiers. I have like 20 tiers in my head.
Yeah, well, then 2 tiers isn't very much.
All right, let's
so what are they? Are LGD tier 20 and Quincy are tier 18, or?
That's a good question. Wait, is 20 good?
I don't know, you said, well, I guess that's true. Tier 1 and tier 3 then?
Yeah.
Who's tier 20? JJ?
Cinderin.
Oh.
Any Cinderin stack.
Wow, what a setup.
Yep. You set yourself up for that one,
What
buddy.
an absolute lie.
True.
All right.
All right, another attempt to go onto Ame right now. Yeah, he does have Sunder, and will use it onto LOA.
He baited so long. He's
LOA
getting the
is
kill.
actually going to drop. My goodness, it's like they're playing with their food here. And Ame likes to eat greens. He's a vegetarian. Uh-oh. Yawar is in a lot of trouble. Gets bursted down by Nothing to Say, making his first transition of the game.
RP ready.
Oh, RP onto 2. Doesn't have mana to skewer, but the damage is there with the Echo Stomp to follow. Nice space created. His Faith Beyond not going to go down to the Pulse Nova as Y attempting to catch Quinn, who still has that Pulse Nova going. One more right click is not enough. So Quinn will survive at the very least, but they have lost 2 in this little mini engagement. Feels like LGD is just getting whatever they want. 3K net worth lead at 8.5 minutes. You have the Astral Spirit coming out again.
If this Stomp connects, Quinn's dead.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's going to cancel the salve to start things out, but here
Good
comes the homing missile. Yawar is in the vicinity. Nice cookie, going to keep things at bay, but the Echo Stomp. Quinn is just going to get bursted down with the right clicks. Y is already resigned to his death. Nothing to Say trying to live here as Yawar gets off the flat cannon. There's the Fairy Fire. MSS giving a little extra movement speed so Yawar can find this kill with the Rocket Barrage. It looks like it's going to be enough. Finally, they get a value kill, but it's going to cost them 2. And Yawar with the call down, not going to do too much here. Actually taking quite a bit of damage from Jin Q and company. It feels like
with the Dominator creep.
Quincy Crew is getting trades, but not always the best.
I mean that
one was the best
good
so
though.
far.
That was pretty good. They pulled back a little bit of the disadvantage that they're facing, but yeah, Quinn dying obviously sucks for them there. Does get back to business in mid though, cleaning out that wave and gonna go and take some jungle farm as well. But this Stomp is so important. That Stomp not connecting is 3 kills instantly, basically for Quincy, and no losses. So
I think you're going to be wrong about Elder Titan be the most picked. I think he will start to get banned consistently.
It is a possibility that he starts getting banned, but you are still seeing these Tiny and Monkey King bans, for example, that are really important. And with IO also looking strong,
yep,
you got to give something, right?
True. LSA into the Guna Blade. Quinn will live, though. Nothing to Say. He's just going to get the regen rune as a reward for not getting the kill. Yeah, it feels like they're just getting away with everything right now. 8-3
Ame has totally free space, and they also are running a Max Empower Magnus, who went Helm of the Dominator. So even more wave push, even more farm potential. A cute little play they did earlier was cookieing the Dominated Creep. That's obviously a play they have.
Yep.
Similar to last game, they have their position 4 play around the Dom Creep, one way or another. That time it was with IO, and now it's with the Snap, so pretty cool. Coming out from LGD to find those moves.
Yeah, it looks like Leslau is going straight from treads into Ags.
Mid tower.
And not a big surprise as the tier 1 tower will be given
Quincy
up.
Crew is losing a lot of ground right now. This is not good. Like, even if you get this top tier 1, you are playing against a lineup that scales exceptionally well. And now this is going to be
this is with a tree.
Stack.
This is with a tree on your team.
Yep. Triple stack here for Ame. I believe some of it might have been stacked by the Radiant, actually.
I would assume.
Stacked by IO. He's going to take it all.
Yeah. Not looking particularly good. So what is their power spike from Quincy Crew's side? You have Yule's being built by Quinn. I mean, that's not a game-breaking item. I mean, it's great, obviously, but it's not like a BKB on a core that allow you to do
What's the
stuff.
perfect timing? Gyro with Maelstrom and Ags or BKB. Then Venge also has Ags, and Lesh has Yule's BKB, maybe?
So quite a ways away.
Yeah, it could have been an earlier one, but now that they've lost the early game as much as they have, I don't know if there is one before that. But I don't know. I kind of feel like you're conceding too much ground if you just start farming now, right? Like, you're going to get out farmed. So, yeah, maybe your timing is there, but the enemy team's just going to have more. So maybe it's now, honestly. Like, maybe you need to try to find a fight, but you're obviously terrified of the
Echo stop from Y. Only connects onto one this time. Quinn trying to burst him down, but oh my god, Laguna Blade comes out. The Split Earth misses completely, but the Overgrowth is there. They finally take out Y. Now nothing to say. He's going to get homing missiled with that Rocket Barrage, doing so much damage. 2 big value kills for Quincy Crew. Looks like Leslau died on the top lane. Feels like there's always a trade of some sort, but they'll still take that one.
Got RP'd into Snapfire comboed, so. But yeah, that's good for Quincy. I think Snapfire's probably going to ult here to defend the tower. Xinq is getting in a very defensive position here and making it rain.
Yeah. That was to kill 3 creeps and force the enemies back. Not too bad. Pretty low cooldown ult as well. You can see the nice sidestep from Quinn. I mean, the Echo Stomps have been really the saving grace for the most part for LGD, but this time around, didn't work out. Yeah, and this time, like last game you were talking about Yawar on the Terrorblade, not in position. This time, obviously with IO, makes it a little easier.
Right.
But still, they're on time.
For sure. Still very far behind on the CS, though. IO Gyro generally keeps up with Terrorblade, but there is a decent CS distance of about 25. But at least Yawar, like you said, involved in kills, which helps.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
So maybe the power spike, if they want to fight soon, is the Ags on Leslau. It's such a, it feels
just very, very
so good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them going again here when they have call down ready, just because they know there's no RP, right?
Okay.
Like, there was a moment of opportunity right now if you wanted to rock and roll. You have everything ready. The enemy team doesn't. You have relocate. But your waves, right? Lena's pushing out mid, bottom lane is pushed in, and there's this pesky Dominator creep just taking care of top together with Magnus. So you're like, your moments of opportunity are pretty short. You've got to be on top of it.
Altair there from Leslau, scouting out Ame. Still only level 1 swap, so range is not anything to write home about. Quinn's going to set things up for himself, but a TP coming in. Can they kill the creep on time? They do. Faith Beyond is going to get skewered into his death. Looks like they're going to get a double kill for Quinn, so TP's perhaps... I believe he killed the creep that he was TPing from Lena, right? So could have been...
Right.
That was... I'm not sure if they had Fortify for that, actually. Do they still have Fortify? They do.
But that was... I don't think that was intended for nothing to say, right? He has travels. He probably wanted to click the tower and then click the creep by mistake, I'm guessing. Might have been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Judging from how that went for Elder Titan, I don't know how well it would have gone for Lena either. Good move again from Quincy, though. They're starting to close the gap a little bit. Now they're 3k behind. It was 5k just a few minutes ago. So it helps stem the bleeding a little bit. But the one guy who is not getting accounted for at all is Terrorblade, and that is a scary hero to give a perfect game to. You would think intuitively that Leshrac could be a pretty good hero against Terrorblade because of his ability to kill illusions. The problem is Terrorblade's damage just gets too overwhelming too fast. It's one of the heroes that can just, when he has the Scotty, he can just pop meta and just stand his ground and deliver.
Yeah.
And even with an IO Treant, I'm not sure if Quinn can tank that damage, at least not with his current build. He's gone Yules and he's queuing up a Blink Dagger. Not too sure how big a fan I am of that.
Huh.
I think he needs more health.
Uh-oh. Quinn might be in some trouble here. There's the meta with Xinq on the sideline with that beautiful ult. Mortimer's Kiss as Faith Beyond actually cancels the RP, knowing he doesn't need it. But a pretty free kill for LGD is LOA. He's going to dodge the LSA and will live as a result. But the tier 2 tower looking like it'll fall.
Radiant structures are fortified.
The overwhelming amount of heroes here from LG. The question is, will there be a trade here? It looks like, yeah. I'm going to say ET, Y in position. Echo Stomp to start things out. And here comes the TP from Nothing to Say.
Oh, they're going to
Double
lose Wisp
TPs.
for
In
this.
fact, oh, the LSA is actually going to connect.
Oh,
Oh, he didn't tether him. Oh, Yawar's going to die as a result. Oh, my goodness. That is truly unfortunate. I'm not sure if tether was on cooldown or
Oh,
something.
okay. So I think what they were trying to do, I didn't see the bottom half here, right? But MSS relocated bottom, and I think the call was, all right, they're going on us top, so if we relocate bottom, we can outnumber them in that fight. And then he realized his relocate position was bad, so he didn't bring the gyro because they would have died together there. You see him instantly dying bot if you're looking at the minimap here. So,
okay, so
like,
either way they were dead.
Yeah, they were kind of just screwed and just, again, outplayed, right? It's this move just... LGD is just better right now.
Yep.
It's just what it is.
It is the first game of the entire tournament for both of the, or first series, I should say.
Yep.
So a lot of room to grow. And I mean, we've seen, like I've had experience with this firsthand with DC. Getting off to just a couple games, like one turnaround game that builds momentum, you can become something that you never thought was possible. Cinderin is Quinn's gonna get brought down again.
He just doesn't survive.
LOA.
Like,
Doing a pretty good job of juking this game. But not able to really protect the buildings as he was hoping for. It's level 4 living armor right now.
Ame's about to complete Scotty.
Yep, that's a pretty good timing. 18 minutes.
Oh my god, he is so farmed.
Yeah.
Treads, Yasha, Falcon Blade, Scotty, Wand, 18 minutes.
Pretty good.
Well, that is,
That's free farm.
yeah, that is free farm.
Well, Aghanim's Scepter is online, though, for Leslau.
And he's getting level 12 now. See, this is where we were talking about, okay, now's the time, right? You got the Axe, you got the 12 on Venge.
Yeah.
The problem is your Lesh just died twice and has no tankiness. And the enemy team's Terrorblade just got the Scotty.
There's the baby swap, still level
something.
1. Y looks like he'll be end up being taken out here. Gets off his ult, but Quincy Crew gets something, finally. And that should be level 12 for Leslau, so...
I don't think they're getting this tower for free, though. Faith Beyond is set up for a Blink Skewer. Oh, they find Venge on the side.
Yep. The call down's coming down with the magic missile to set it up. There's Faith Beyond with the skewer onto the other side of the tree line, but the BKB, he can't get off Sunder. That's a huge kill for Quincy Crew as Jin Q now getting chased by Yawar. Laguna Blade was there. Leslau trying to focus onto Nothing to Say. Still in his, that's his illusion now. It has a health bar, so it looks like a hero now, Cinderin.
All right, nice from Quincy there.
Absolutely.
Getting a very good isolation on the Terrorblade.
Up. Magic Missile into swap. Nothing to Say gets off the LSA, but again, that's just the death illusion thingy from Vengeful Spirit, whatever the hell the name actually is, Cinderman. They killed the homing missile. Oh,
that's BKB.
Yules. Yeah, BKB is popped finally, as you are. Not doing a ton of right-click damage at this point. Relies a lot on the magic for now, but either way, they will be very happy with this, and Leslau will spawn back onto his Vengeful Aura Spirit guy.
Absolutely crucial there that there's nothing for Ame to sunder. Magnus skewered away all the other heroes, and then Gyro just runs into Terrorblade with BKB on.
Yeah.
So didn't have a valid target, Ame, and that's big. That's a decent swing for Quincy. They're gonna need more of that. The bad news for them is that RP wasn't used, so there's still the threat of a potential fight. But obviously they know meta is not online, so perhaps that's enough for them to.
Ooh.
Fancy a move.
Oh man, that's the horn toss. The shard from Faith Beyond picked up. And it's going to be an easy one on Leslau, but again, that's his illusion coming out. Already at half HP though. And they're going to expend more resources to make sure that he is brought down forever. And by forever, I mean 40 seconds, which I guess is not that long, Cinderin.
Correct.
It's not forever. So Blink Dagger was picked up, like you said, from Quinn. We'll talk about that in just a second, but this was the original kill onto Ame.
So watch the skewer force away all the other heroes that he could have sundered, right?
Yeah.
And Yawar immediately identifies this is a kill opportunity because of that. Gets in there.
That's true. As we have a smoke now from PSG.LGD. Yeah, so talk to me again. I know you weren't too happy with the Blink Dagger being built by Quinn. Is it just for the split pushing capability?
Perhaps I'm thinking if you were concerned about the catch, So you want Blink Yules. Your Venge just got Ags. She doesn't mind swapping someone and trading lives.
Yeah.
It's a good outcome a lot of
She's
the
going
time.
to get horn tossed again into the skewer, into the ridiculous lockdown. So many stunts to speak of. LSA is there as well, but the overgrowth to help out from LOA. Going to take a Laguna Blade, and the Mortimer's Kiss is going to be enough to take him out. So a double kill for Jin Q of all heroes. The ET ult does go off, but not to much avail. So they lose, do lose Faith Beyond though. So.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And again, if you're Leslie, you don't mind dying necessarily. And they can continue on now. Little taste of PSG.LGD's medicine with the Venge.
Yeah.
And Roche is up. All right, I do have to ask. It's 20%, but the Venge Shard, how good is it against Terrorblade? It's base armor, I believe, and base damage stolen, right?
It's strong.
Would that not be something that you prioritize?
I think you should buy it over Yasha, but
It feels like it's the best, like that and Morphling are the two best
it
heroes together.
steals. It's not just that you get, they lose, right? So that is how it works, right?
Yes.
Based on the wording. Okay. Yeah. Then I definitely think so. It's very good against Terrorblade.
Okay. There's the smoke from Quincy Crew this time.
Does it also lower the base damage of the illusions? I'm assuming it only steals damage from me.
It says enemy hero, so I assume not.
Alright, Quincy are scouted. This is not happening.
Yeah. But ET ult is down, and they know this, Cinder, and that's a huge deal.
There's
Mortimer's
RP
Kisses
and meta. Timing?
getting
They
quite
might
low.
actually be fast
BKB
enough.
from Ame. There's the Howl to get some more reduction onto the armor. Yuar pops the BKB, and they get the Aegis successfully. They want to fight now. Looks like Leza's going to be taken out back into his illusion form. You have nothing to say with the BKB along with Ame. You can see Io taking everybody out for now. But the Mortimer's Kiss is from afar. Yuar is in some trouble. He does have Aegis, but he's going to get completely surrounded. Now with no relocate, I'm not sure if there's going to be a save, Cinderin. And Yuar is just going to get bursted down by PSG.LGD. No swap in vicinity here for Quincy Crew. So at the very least, they take the Aegis theoretically away from PSG.LGD, but it does cost them.
That is costly, but it could have been so much worse. Oh, he thought the tether went on top of the high ground.
Beyond, pulling an Arteezy. Perhaps something that we'll see in the future in this tournament.
Unlike him, he had a way to get down, though.
That's true. Oh, all right, Earth Splitter. Very pretty. Just wants to show the particle effects. MSS pretty deep. I mean, this is a kind of a cool little
They really want to find something here.
Tether
They're
up
finally going to find MSS.
All right. This is taking so long, though. Even if they end up finding him, space definitely created. Tether up in 2 seconds again. Can MSS do it again? Tree in the trees, believe it or not. Tower, not going to be enough to take him out. MSS. We have 3 seconds on Tether. Can he do it again? No. Horn Toss is the counter to Io. Unbelievable. That took 35 seconds or something. Just going to claim that that's true.
And usually you would call that insane space, but I still think the LGD heroes that wanted to farm were just farming. Terrorblade and Lina weren't there.
Yeah.
So it didn't really do anything.
It was entertaining. That did something.
That it was.
It's all about entertaining the masses, Cinder, and that's all that really matters.
Very true.
All right, so 11K net worth lead for LGD at this point. Looks like Lotus is going to be picked up pretty soon. Oh, Leslau showing himself. There's the swap into the magic missile. Mortimer's Kisses from afar again, but there's the horn toss. Oh, Quinn's in a lot of trouble. Has to self-Yules and likely just be brought down in quick succession here. A 2-for-1, but the illusion remains for Leslau, but not for long. A couple more right clicks will do it. And LGD just continuing their dominance. They've come to play, Cinderin.
I wonder if they're going to high ground with this. I guess not. They just take top tier 1, maybe tier 2. They have 30 seconds. The top tower is almost dead, so very quick push here from Nothing to Say. It's gone. Jeez. We didn't even talk about Empower on Lina, but that's also dirty, actually. Lina has so much attack speed that just getting that extra base damage is really, really nice.
By the way, going Lincolns again. This one makes a lot more sense, though, obviously, with swap.
Yeah.
Still, not an item we see that often. We're seeing it 2 games in a row. That's kind of strange.
It's a different player this time, though, right?
That's true.
Last game was on
just in general.
It is. I think it's very solid this game against the bench.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
No, still not queuing up the shard on Leslau. Maybe there's something we don't understand about how good it is. It just sounds good in theory, but maybe in practice, meh. But when it comes to base damage, it's like Tiny, Terrorblade, Morphling are the 3 that I think of immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh. Jin-Q gets off the cookie, into the Horn Toss, into the Skewer, into the Echo Stomp, into everything! Leslau's dead twice! Twice! Just trying to hype up these deaths a little bit. As the Tier 2 tower is going to fall.
Technically, every time you kill Venge like that, it's a double kill. So
that is kind of true. You don't get gold for it, do you? Actually, do you? I can't remember.
No. The illusion gives nothing.
Oh, Yules into the Split Earth with the Overgrowth to follow. Nice counter that BKB, so Quincy crew able to get something, but it's going to cost them their racks. Not a fair trade, at least not where I come from, which is very low MMR. And Ame's just going to continue on to the mid lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it's something. I don't think you could have defended that lane anyway, honestly, without Venge. It's just too important for Quincy that Venge is alive so they can set something up that's meaningful. So at least finding Delina there is something. But once again, just similar to game number 1, just... They're just outclassed, right?
Yep.
There is just a gap here between these 2 teams in this series at least.
Leslau gets off the swap. Ame, obviously the kill that they would really want, but he pops his BKB and meta and just focuses on Leslau. That's death number 1 and death number 2. So no more for him as RP onto 2. Skewer back into the arms of Ame. He's actually resetting as the Elder Titan ult, just decimating amount of damage. My god, 3 dead now. As it looks like Quinn is next on the list, and this might be close to GG territory. LGD looking prime for a 2-0 series win. As apparently Jin-Q gets a triple kill.
Beautiful spell casting in that fight. You're going to see here. So this is the start of it, right? Pretty straightforward for Ame. He's just going to Manta BKB and fight the Venge. But what comes here is what's really beautiful. This RP combo that he finds. So RP on 2, Skewer into Earth Splitter, which they make the gap there.
With the cookie setting it up.
With the cookie.
Yeah.
This is just perfect.
It looks like the Ancient's about to die, by the way. Yep, that is definitely the Ancient. Let's see if they can hold on a little bit longer. Nice Overgrowth, Quinn. Pulse Nova is going to work, but it's not going to be nearly enough as PSG.LGD take a 2-0 victory in this series versus Quincy crew. And they look as advertised, a.k.a. the best in the world, potentially.
They barely broke a sweat.
Yeah.
And, like, it's hard after a series like this to be like, are LGD just absolute gods of the game, or did Quincy make them look that good, right? I'm more leaning toward the side of LGD played exceptionally well today than Quincy played very poorly, but at the same time, there were definitely some mistakes Quincy made that they should not be making, right? So it's like, I'd rather, for this series, I'm more on the positive side for LGD than the negative for Quincy, but if Quincy want to get to the top 4, or maybe top 6 of the group, I think the performance today is not good enough to get up a bracket. That's based on this series, at least. I don't think so. But
yeah, I would personally, again, I'm not an expert in this field, Cinderin, but I would like to see more playmaking, like heroes for somebody like MSS. I would like to not see Triant, just to see how it looks. You know,
I agree.
Like, actually, LOA is known for his, I'm not sure if it was banned, but his Abaddon is actually really freaking good.
Yeah.
That's probably his best hero, honestly.
It was in the pool, I think.
Not sure why they changed it up, but, you know, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we have no idea about. So, either way, this is against, arguably, like we said, the best team in the entire world. So, it's only probably uphill for Quincy crew.
And for LGD fans, this is a great first showing, right?
Yep.
It's you're always like, okay, we think this team is amazing, and then sometimes you go into a tournament and it's just not the case.
Right.
This is, when you look at the map movements and the spell casting for this team, this is a team that looks like they're ready to be top 3. And then among that, it's just, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself too much. It's one series, right?
Yeah.
But they looked really good. So
indeed.
Gets us hopeful for their sake of a deep run once again. LGD with a very strong TI history. I don't know how many times this organization has been top 3.
Yeah. They just can't quite get over the hump.
4 or 5 times, but never had the victory, right? They got 3rd at TI2.
We're not going to go through this again.
They've got a lot of top 3s.
You take too long to remember.
Yes.
You need to do a little reformat or
Stop talking.
potentially
Bye.
defragging your hard drive, Cinderin. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody, although there's going to be another series after this. I forget who's coming after us, but I'm sure they're better than us, so stay tuned.
Yeah, for sure. Bye.